Okay, alright, so we're going to make another video. Now that I'm figuring out the hang of this thing. So I have a problem that I'm sure a lot of people run into. If you're using Vue in Vuex, sometimes when you refresh a page, like you can see here, like your Vuex, this doesn't bring back data fast enough, and then your application blows up, like you can see here on the right, and that's not cool. So what I'm going to attempt to do is actually, whenever the application runs, I want to show a loading screen and give it a second to come back up. So what I'm going to do first is actually, and actually I've already did this part, but I'll show you guys how to get there. So the first thing you need to do is get a cool loader, right? So if you search for Epic Spinners, which you can see I have, boom, right there, like Epic Spinners here. These are pretty cool, and they work with Vue. There's actually, and if you go to my GitHub repo, there's actually one for Angular too, and I'm sure, you can do this for React as well. Not really terribly difficult. But they're cool, and if you are a design challenge like me, you can't do this shit on your own. So, alright, so we're just going to start with like this atomic view thing and whatnot. So what I want to happen, one, you have to install it. You could just use HTML if you want to, HTML and CMS, or you can actually install it. Okay, if you install it, you just import it into whatever screen you want, and then they give you a cool, convenient tag, so your lazy ass doesn't have to do this, right? Like, whatever. Okay, I installed it. npm install epic-spinners. Boom. Pretty simple. Okay, so let's go to the code. All right, now let's go to the code. Okay, so this is our app.vue, so this is where everything happens, like the entire magic happens, right? So what we want to do is not really allow the router view to paint to the screen, so we don't want it to like do anything yet until we know that the store says everything is cool and that we're kind of free to go. Okay, all right, so first thing I want to do is actually add in my component there. So actually I think I have it, yeah, I just copied it from that screen that you saw. Okay, so that's that, and then that's not actually going to work because we didn't import it yet. So if we did an import, and we want the atomic spinner from our epic spinners, okay, and then my linter complains, even though it should be able to do that, we have to add a components thing, and then say we want this component to be assigned to this object that we imported. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, so let's go over to this one. It's two places here. Okay, so this one. Oh, there it is. So now it's doing both things because we didn't really put any conditions or anything like that. So let's go back and let's now get it to go through the whole screen. So what I'm going to do is wrap this in a div. Okay, and we want this div. Okay, we're not going to do big on formatting because I don't think anybody's here to watch me format shit. Okay, so let's add style. I forget which one I have installed. I think I have less installed. Let's see. See if it crashes when I do that. If it crashes when you add less, then you know you don't have less installed, or if you have SAS installed. But it looks like I do have less installed because it's still working. All right. Now we need to get a hold of this div, so let's just give it a class name of Screenloader. Okay. And then let's say .screenloader. Screenloader, the height is 100 view height, and the width is 100 view width. Okay, and let's save that, and let's see what we get. Nada. We didn't get shit. Why didn't we get shit? Did I not spell loader right? Okay, so let's just, oh, now it did it. Let's refresh. This browser is better than Chrome anyway, so. Alright, there we go. So now it kind of did it. Alright, so I just had to hit refresh. It just didn't, it hadn't injected any CSS, so it didn't do anything yet. Alright, cool. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is set this display to flex. So that we can try to get this atomic spinner to be in the middle. So let's align items to the center, and then let's justify the content to the center. Okay, now let's do that and see what do we get. Oh, look at that, it's in the middle of the screen. Okay, and then that's honestly, in my opinion, kind of cool enough. We can actually, let's see if we add the word loading. So people are like, hey, why is this thing in the middle of the screen? Cool. Alright, so we got loading there. Let's actually put it in the below that thing. So if we wrap this in a div, okay, and then we wrap this in another div. I think that'll do it. Maybe, maybe not. No. Okay. Let's tell it that we want, what is it, direction. I thought it was displayed direction. Yeah, that's not right. Flex direction, column, what does that do? Boom, there we go, perfect. Alright, so that looks good. Alright, missing a dot, okay. Alright, so we got loading. Let's actually make it capitalized, that looks better. Alright, now what we want to do is, we're going to call like some sort of function or dispatch something. So and of course your code would be different than mine, but from here what we would want to do is set a variable that says, okay, you're done loading or you're not done loading, right? So I'm going to create, we already have some computed things here. So this is a coaching app, so like, is the coach currently logged in? Yes or no? And we could probably add another, roll up the sleeve. We could probably add another one that says basically like it's ready. But I'm gonna just play off of this to say that we actually have this variable come back. Okay, but you can do whatever you want on yours. So what we could do here then would be add aka VF current coach. Okay. And you can see now we don't actually have anything, because that basically means that we are not in fact logged in, which makes sense because I'm on the login screen. Okay. Now the other thing that we could do would be, okay, we're back. I took a pause because something came up, so I apologize. But for you, it was only like a blip on the screen. Anyways, so what I was saying was we can do it a different way. So like just checking for is this logged in wouldn't work, because if they're not logged in, they'll never get to any other screen but this. But I was just trying to show the concept. So a better way would be, say, if we are not, when when we'll create a variable in the store, we'll say app loading, okay? And then for this one, we'll basically do the opposite of that, right? So we'll say if the app is loading, so this is our little div for all of those together. If the app is loading, show that. If it's not loading, show this. And then what we'll do here is we'll add is app loading, and then we'll create another one called is app loading over here, right? That's going to break because there's no getter called that. So let's go ahead and save this and then not go over to the screen because we know it's broken because there's no such thing. All right, so let's go over to the store. And then so we got everything in modules. So I'm going to be lazy. Don't do this at home, kids. All right, I'm just going to put it here in my auth. Yeah, again, don't do this at home, kids. Okay, is app loading. All right, if you think this sucks, put it down in the comments, and then I'll tell you why you suck. Okay, fair. All right, so actually we'll say start with a true state. Okay, so the app is loading true, and then we'll just write another function. Other people code this other than me, so yeah, ignore that. Okay, and we'll just say we'll take the state, and then I like to state dot is app loading. Okay, and this is crying because we didn't put a comma there. Okay, there we go. So let's save that. Now we should, okay, it's still working, I think. Yeah, it's still working. Okay, so it's working. No error messages over here. Okay. All right. So now the trick is it's always in that state. Now we got to have a way to actually set that. Okay, so first thing I would do is actually have a mutation in our Vuex here. That would set it. So let's just be lazy here, and we'll just say set app loading, and we'll keep with I'd rather use arrow functions, but we'll just keep with this same shit here that's already been there. App loading, and it's going to pass the state and the payload. Okay, just in case we ever, for whatever reason, want to say that the app is still loading, even though the app is actually already loaded. Blah blah blah. Okay, and we're going to say state dot is app loading equal to the payload. Okay, so whatever that is. Okay. All right. Okay, so save that, and it still should just be fine. Boom. Okay, it reloaded. Perfect. Okay, now the other thing that I actually have going on here, so when the app actually fires, if we go back to our app.view, so when the app fires, there's this function that's happened uncreated. That's honestly not necessary, not something I wrote, but it's not completely necessary other than it's trying to do an attempt, like if you don't have the coach and it's going to another pass. I think the previous person was using Vuex persistence and trying to get this in from here and then trying to blah blah blah, like that probably isn't going to work. So we're just going to take that out. Okay, that's not really necessary for what we're doing. Okay, all right, so save that, and then hopefully that doesn't break anything. No, we're still good. Okay. All right, and then the other thing we have going on here is when the store actually initiates, so every time you reload the page, right, like it gets pulled in with the app, right? So that's why I have this here, like, okay, I'm reloaded. Now, granted, when I go to production, I don't have any console logs, but it runs an action, okay? Check if logged in. So this was here, and it does an async awake because this, as you can see, check at the bottom there, or the right, it's a promise. So You have to wait on promises or you'll get lies. Okay. But what if instead of, oh, what is this? Coach data. Okay, so this is actually trying to get coach data and pass it in. Okay, that's interesting. We'll deal with that guy later. Okay, but at any rate, I wrote another function that I'm going to push this off to. So we have store.dispatch and it has check if logged in data. Now if we go back over here to the auth, I have something else called get login from storage. Okay, so just believe me, like if you actually logged in, we're setting a token. Okay, so we have a token there, and if you log out, which is somewhere, I don't know where, but trust me, if you log out, we remove the token. Okay, just that simple. So what we would want to do is actually call this function, okay, get from storage, and it's going to pull the token. If we don't have a token, it just returns, and then if it is, it'll actually go to the GraphQL server and use the token, and then it'll return back. That's the actual coach, and then it'll set the record, and then blah blah blah. But we need all of this to happen before our app fully loads, or we can get an error where even though it says await, and this is a promise too, like it may not happen the way you think it is. Okay, so it may not happen fast enough. So at any rate, what we're going to do then is for this function, we need to get this here and then actually set our is app loading to false. Okay, so once this happens, so we need to make another commit. Okay, so is app loading equal to false. Turn that guy off. Now, if we don't have anything here, okay, obviously we're just saying return. So we need to do a little bit more than that, right? We need to set it to false, and then we can in fact return. So that's what we need to do if we don't actually have a user token. Set it and then let it do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to save that and make sure we haven't broken anything. So apparently we haven't broken anything. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do then is, what am I going to do? Okay, so we are going to, let's see, go back to our screen here, where the thing loads, the whole store loads. So we're going to change this function to, oh, I thought I copied it. I did not. Okay, let's run this guy instead. Okay, and this guy doesn't need a payload. Okay, so we can just run that without a payload, and we're not using this shit anymore, so let's get rid of that guy. Okay. Alright, so let's go. Did we break it yet? Okay, we didn't break it, but it's still loading. Why is it not loading correctly? Okay, so let's go back and let's look and see, okay, why are we not loading correctly? Alright, so let's go back over to our app.view, and is app loading should... Okay. Alright, let's do a debug. Why isn't this working? Okay, it says it's still loading. Okay, then why are you... What's your deal, dude? is uploading. Oh, did I name this wrong? Yeah, my bad. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We want to set. It's a terrible name. It's honestly a terrible name. Let's call it what it really is. Set is app loading. Okay, and set is app loading. Okay, let's do that instead. And it still says true. After all that, it's that shouldn't do what I tell it to do. Okay, so this is now correct. Set is app loading. And our action, set is app loading. Set is app loading equals false. Let's make sure we're actually getting here. Okay. So everybody's learning how to debug, and I not like in other videos because it's not a tutorial. This is me just messing around. Okay. I didn't do this in advance, so it makes it look like I'm a genius and I just write this stuff like in my sleep. Okay, so the interesting thing is it didn't get there. It didn't even run that. Okay. What's up with that? Oh, here, because I didn't reload the page. Duh. Well, no duh, it still didn't get there. Interesting. I swear to God, this worked before. All right, well, I don't know, but let's take our show on the road here. Okay, let's get rid of this guy because it's not running it. Or you know what? Here, let's take out this async await. Let's just run this. Let's see if that works. Maybe I wrote that wrong or something. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. It didn't like that. Okay, so you have to write it that way. Perfect. Okay, now it finally hit the false, and now we get ourselves a little login page, and yeah, send me emails, guys. eDriven Dojo. Okay. There we go. So now it logged in. Now, let's see. Let's clear this. What happens if we hit? And I'll get rid of this in a minute. What happens if we reload? It didn't work. It didn't work. Okay. Unknown notation type set coach. Interesting. Okay. So we have other errors that I did not count on. So this one, this set coach. Yeah, there's no set coach. But we don't really have. I mean, this is kind of set coach because I don't actually have a coach login here. Okay, because this get current coach, I think that's why this is like this, because like these are like terrible names. And again, I didn't write all this. These are people on my team. Like some people just make up names as they're coding, or they leave console logs all over the place. I hate that too. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is make a hold on, Laura. We are going to make ourselves a set coach. It's actually this. I don't like the name of the other one, so I'm not going to continue this pattern. So we'll just actually call this set coach, And then later I'll clean this up, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is actually just to show you how freaking login screen could work. And this happens so fast now, you don't even see the damn login screen. So after all that, it's so fast. Okay. And there we go. Now if we oh, we saw it for a second. How cool is that? But the other cool part is it doesn't actually work. So if you hit refresh, okay, it's not doing it. It's not doing it at all. And that's probably because of how we set this router. Okay. So we have a route guard that's basically checking for which page we're trying to get to. And it is saying to get the logged in coach. And have it doing this, setting the logged in coach and failing after that. So let's see what in the world is going on here. So okay, so there is, it's saying null, and now it's saying that it has data. Okay, and if we hit reload, we're getting null. We're still getting null. Okay, and this is what the entire store has. But the entire store actually says it's there. So it's null here, but it is in fact here. So isn't that some shit? That's weird, isn't it? So that actually is an object. So how could it not be there, but be there? Bizarre. Yeah, so it's here, but not here. I didn't even think that's possible. Let's just do it this way. I mean, this is just a different notation, but it still should be the same. So, okay. So let's log in. Okay. Now it says undefined, which makes sense. Oh, because you typed it in wrong. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry, this is going to be a long ass video. Okay, so null and null, but then we have it and we have it. Okay. This is crazy. So it's actually, this is interesting. So this is where it called our function to get our little code there. So let's make sure that it is actually null when it says it's null. Okay, so it's saying it's null here after it reloaded. Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's check our, not the check if login. So okay, let's take this. Let's move this here. Then we need to know what this token is. Now I didn't encrypt this thing, so let's figure this out. Why is it that? Oh, wrong way. Okay, saying number 1, so the token is just number 1. Okay, so if token is equal to number 1, which it is, it should be running this. So it's running this set coach function. So before we do that, let's make sure we're actually getting some data. Response, data, coach. Interesting. So see when that happened? So all of this happened before this actually finished. That's amazing. So it's actually waiting to actually finish this first. So this is firing later. Oh, that's why it's going back to the other screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to make 2 videos, because we got the other part working, which is, hey, set this screen so that you can know when it's done. But there's a different way I can do this, because I didn't actually count on this, even though it says await. Like, it's awaiting here before it goes to the next step of code, but this entire function is taking a while longer. So when we are calling this in our little function here, where is that? Where is this store? Where is this store? Yeah. So because we're not actually waiting here, it's doing this and it's continuing to go on. Now, actually, before I say it, we're going to do another video. Let's just move this guy. Okay. Let's go back to the app. Let's go to, okay, let's add another created. Okay. And then if it gets created, actually, let's just make this a function. Okay. That's what it is. It's a function. Okay. And then store that dispatch, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I doubt that works. Okay, yeah, we're unpausing. We're gonna figure this out, make another video.